We are now checking for whatever that is. I can't pronounce it, but a disease where plaque are built up inside the carotid arteries of the body, the large arteries running from the aorta to the head, hardening and narrowing them, thereby reducing the flow of blood. Hey guys, welcome to Unmodded Gaming. I'm the Unmodded Gamer, and I'm back with more of Project Hospital. And this will probably be the last episode of Project Hospital. Excuse me, but I'm not really, or I have plans for other games to play on this channel. However, I'm not going to spoil anything, so I won't say what video games I'm going to play after this. But there is one that I'm thinking of playing, and as you may remember from the last episode, we had an ambulance coming in. The night shift has just relieved the day shift. And now we are going to take a look at the patient the ambulance brings us. And I'm curious to see what it is. We have John White, who is dizzy, who could pass out, and who doesn't have a diagnosis yet. So what we are going to do is do a quick physical examination, chest escalation, and see if we can find anything. Heart monitoring, urgent echo, fast. Those are all things we can do, and we should do, because I don't like him not having a diagnosis, but still about to pass out. So I'm going to make him my favorite patient, and we'll see what happens or what he is suffering from. He's being taken care of by a doctor who's doing a physical examination. And as you can see right here, he has a whole bunch of possible diagnoses that are 3 pages long. And some of those things there are pretty dangerous. You could have a stroke or a concussion. So I'll also make him do neurological testing, because if there is something that is life-threatening to his condition, we are probably going to find that out by having a look at his critical things, such as his heart, his brain, and his breathing. And this doctor can actually do a differential diagnosis, which is a special case review that reduces the amount of possible diagnosis. It can only be performed by a doctor with advanced diagnosis specialization. So it doesn't look like what I've done has revealed many symptoms so far. I mean, apart from his headache and his dizziness. Well, that hasn't revealed anything either. I almost forgot about the blood pressure measurements that we can do, which is also pretty important, because if the patient does have a high blood pressure. That could be something he could collapse from. And we are kind of running low on tests that we can do to try and find out what he is suffering from. And there we have another ambulance who just left and is now back with a patient. Let's hope this one does have a diagnosis. There's a long wait for treatment. Okay. Well, anyway, this is Linda Hernandez with myocardial infection. Hang on, I'm going to pause the game real quick. Acute myocardial infarction, also known as heart attack, occurs when blood flow to the myocardium, the muscle tissue of the heart, is blocked. The affected muscle tissue can die and the patient is also at high risk of dying. So we have palpitations, sweating, nausea, chest pain, and possibly even more, which we don't know yet. So for her, I'm going to ask for an IV infusion, heart monitoring, and we'll wait with that for now, and we'll also remember her. And now that we are at it, another long wait for treatment. It looks like the general surgery department is pretty busy, because there's already been 2 people who had to wait long for treatment. Well, there isn't much I can do about that, I'm afraid, but for now I'm going to leave this be, because I remembered those patients here, and I'm going to have a look at my patient at the intensive care with a penetrating trauma to the head. She looks fine, and now that I'm at it, I'm also going to have a look at the general surgery department, and we'll see what's going on here. Robert Hill, performing band ligation, Frank Martinez. Right. So they're already performing a surgery at the general surgery department, and it looks like they have just finished another surgery, which was basically the same procedure. And I've performed 10 surgeries, which means that I get more clinic patients, I think, or money. No, more clinic patients probably, because the only thing that gets me money right now is to treat 60 patients a day, and I'm now at 55. Well, we can't do much about that. Let's have another look at Linda Hernandez here, who is being transported to a room, and she needs nitrates. Well, let's just go ahead and give that to her, and she's probably gonna get HDU hospitalization, as you can see right there. So that was one patient from the ambulance, and now they're busy with the other patient, who they still don't have a diagnosis for. They're evaluating. I'll just do a blood draw and a stool collecting for now. A differential and an angiography. Wait, not an angiography. First CBC sampling, then an angiography. And we have a patient who can't be released from observation. Why is this? I have done everything that needs to be done for me to have or people for the night shift. Why can't he be released and brought to orthopedy? Susan Hall. It looks like she's about to get the same problem. Let me have a look at Lisa Hernandez here. Heart failure. What can be done about that? Defibrillating. Okay. And let's get her up to the ICU. It looks like heart failure has been suppressed. But she still isn't doing too good. No, this doesn't look good at all. Right, so she is going to the intensive care. And who is that? Nancy Smith with IHD with heart failure. And she has just had cardiovascular surgery, it looks like. She is still collapsed. Let's follow her. Let's see if they can revive her at the intensive care. I'm noticing, by the way, that the floor is getting kind of dirty there. Oh right, she's now undergoing stabilization. Okay. And she's treated. Okay. Well, it looks like she's recovered. And now let's have a look at Frank Harris, who's waiting for the surgical team. So he has one hidden symptom. Could be anything from cramps to hypertension. No, not hypertension. He can't pass out from it. Elevated LDL. Hyperlipidemia. An increased level of lipids in the blood above the normal range. I don't know what those are, but there's a lot of symptoms that he could still have one of. And you know what, since his life isn't in danger anymore, I'm not going to remember him. I'm just gonna leave it to the game. And it looks like they're about to perform a surgery on him. So that is going to be fine. And I'll also have a look at Thomas Garcia, and actually just the patients at general surgery in general. And let's see who else needs to undergo a surgery. Only Charles Lopez with fistula of the intestine. Okay, so they're getting through it. Although I am glad I made a surgical team for the night at general surgery. And we have another patient. Yeah, that was to be expected. A clinic patient is about to leave. Well, let's do some regular hospitalization. I don't want him to leave, not yet anyway. We don't know what he is suffering from, so we don't want him to leave. Right, so let's get back to John White, who seems to be doing pretty well, although we still don't know what he is suffering from. We are now checking for whatever that is. I can't pronounce it, but a disease where plaque are built up inside the carotid arteries of the body. The large arteries running from the aorta to the head, hardening and narrowing them, thereby reducing the flow of blood. It could be asymptomatic for decades. Symptoms often appear when arteries become more than 50% blocked. So we are now checking for that, but it looks like it isn't that. So we can only do an MRI and a CT scan. And there's a lot being investigated right now, so we'll just have to wait and see what comes out of all those samples that we did. What is this? Now Susan Hall is transported to a room. I thought they couldn't release her from observation. Well, that is unusual. I did not expect that. And here we have Christopher Scott with bronchiectasis, condition where the large airway and lungs are damaged and enlarged. And we have Brooke Hall with mitral valve prolapse, a condition where the heart's mitral valve bulges into the left atrium. Yeah, we know what that is, but why is she? Oh, she is. She has been in observation. Okay. By the way, speaking of observation, let's see if we can find that patient that was about to leave. We'll make it my favorite, and we'll see what else we can do with him. Because chances are this patient is gonna have to get surgery done. Well, it looks like that is really busy. Someone waiting for a free examination room. And people are preparing for a surgery. Let's see, the patients at the intensive care. Are they still doing okay? It looks like they are. So we still have one hidden symptom for Linda Hernandez, but I don't know if it's worth trying to find that symptom. I'm not going to do that at night anyway. I want them to have a good night's sleep. And let's see here. That is Frank Harris who they're performing a surgery on. Right. There's still blood here, by the way. And someone else is being brought here. Brooke Green, as expected. Let's have another look at the planned surgeries here. Still Charles Lopez. Okay. Well, they just finished up. Yeah, I always have the same thing when I play this game, that the general surgery department doesn't do so well when it comes to efficiency. But that might be because surgery generally takes a long time. Right, so let's see if this reveals any symptoms. I really hope it does, because if it doesn't, I don't really know what else to do. What? Collapsing? Let's get him to the HDU then. Septic shock? Okay. Clinic patient about to leave. No you don't. Don't tell me we're about to lose him. Oh great, now he's brought back to the trauma center. Well, it's a good thing we kept him here. Another patient about to leave. What? No you don't. Why is everybody suddenly wanting to leave? And why does it take so long to find out what John Brown is suffering from? Or John White for that matter? Here we have John White again. Okay, so he's undergoing stabilization. Right. So his septic shock is suppressed. Well, that was about it for this episode. I may do one more of this I'm not quite sure yet, because I do want to find out what those patients are suffering from. But for now, I'm going to ask you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. This was the Unmodded Gamer, and stay unmodded.